Hello, welcome to this lesson, Algebra 1 Word Problems. Okay, this is one of the topics that is tested often on the SAT. So you see some information about it. So it's being tested as often as possible. Okay, just before I get into the lesson, this prep material is brought to you by SAT Mastery. So we'll be working with SAT Mastery for this lesson. So take a look at what the cover page looks like. So this is brought to you by Love the SAT Test Prep, and this is their volume one. This is amazing. Like, this is one of the best materials I've seen thus far for the SAT, and it's amazing. You have some other amazing materials out there, but I'm just cool with this. Okay, let's get right back into the lesson. Okay, so you can go through the reading. I will be instructing, so I will not have time to go through every detail here. I'll just go ahead and instruct. But if you think you need to get the whole of this class, you can simply get the textbook, or you can as well pause the video and take your time. Okay, so I have a question here. As you can see, this question. So they gave an equation. Okay, so I have an equation here. Okay, and it says the equation above gives the amount Q in dollars a certain plumber charges for a job that takes H hours. Um, James and Jonathan each hired this plumber. The plumber worked for 5 hours longer on Jonathan's job than on James' job. How much less did the plumber charge James than Jonathan? Okay, so you already have this equation is in the form of y equal to mx plus b, right? So it's in the form of y equal to mx plus b, and this is more like the intercept like you have here, 95, and then the slope and everything is just set. So this is the total amount it charges, which is q. Now I'm going to solve for, I don't know if you understood what this question is explaining talking about the whole sentence. Now, since we have two persons here, James and Jonathan, they want to know, they're asking us to find how much less did the plumber charge James than Jonathan. So what I'm meant to do is they say the plumber worked for 5 hours longer on Jonathan. So 5 hours longer on Jonathan. So whatever number of hours he worked for James, he worked 5 hours. So for instance, let's make sense out of this. If he worked for 6 hours for James, so let's say this is James, that of Jonathan, so Jonah, just say Jonah, is going to be 6 plus 5, right? Which is 11. Don't know if that makes sense to you. So if he worked for just an hour, which is one 1 hour for James, it means he worked 1 hour plus 5, which is 6. So whatever he worked for James, he did 5 of that extra for who is it for Jonathan. So let's solve for their distance separate. So let's say for the first person, for James is equal to let's put on the formula first. Q is equal to 80H 80H plus 95. So 80 in bracket James. So let's say he worked for 1 hour for James plus 95. So let's do that. 80 multiplied by 1 is 80 plus 95. 80 plus 95. What is it going to give us? Okay, let me just get an on-screen calculator and we do this together. So 80 plus 95, 175. So we have 175. That's for James. Okay, let's solve for Jonathan. Now remember what I told you, that Jonathan is just 5 extra of whatever we did for the other person. So let's do that. So for Jonah, we have that okay, let's just go straight. 80 and then in bracket 6. You know why I'm adding 6? Because he had 5 extra hours. So it's more like saying 1 plus 5, and that's 6 plus 95. Okay, 80 times 6 should be about 480, right? Well, let's check this. So let's do it. 80 multiplied by 6, right? The 480. So we're having 480. Let's put that here. So 480 plus 95. Let's add this together and see what it gives us finally. So 480 plus 95, 575. So we are having 575. The next step is to check to find the difference, because they said how much less did the plumber charge James than Jonathan. So for us to know how much less, we need to check their difference, and if we can solve for their difference, then we can fix this. I don't know if this is making sense to you, but that's just the right thing to do. Okay, so from here, what we'll do is simply Jonah minus James. So let's go ahead and do that. It becomes 575 minus 175. So from here, 5 minus 5 is 0, 7 minus 7 is 0, then 5 minus 1 is 4. So that's giving us 4. That 4 is simply $4,400. Sorry, we have $400 for this. I hope this makes sense. Okay, so let's go through the manual, the lesson, and see what they did. Okay, I think that's it. $400. That's they did same thing. You can pause this to go through the explanation. But let's get on with the lesson. Okay, just before we get into solving more questions, let's take some notes here. So while solving word problems, we're talking about this is very important. The equality sign means equal to results in. I think you understand this better when we start solving questions. But apart from that, these things are not difficult. Okay, so plus means sum, together, increase, and all that. So let's take note of that. Minus means positive, difference, take away, fewer than, less than. Okay, so multiplication is product. Now this division means quotient, and based on the okay, and you can as well the context where you see it influences it, especially like when we have power. The the context you have it is very important. Okay, okay, S means what value and unknown. Okay, talking about unknown. For minimum and maximum possible, okay, means possible means when asked for the minimum value of one variable, plug in the maximum possible value of another variable and all that. So go through this during the course of this lesson and get to understand it better. So don't be frightened when you see such kind of explanations and all that. Okay, so we have a question here. Let's tackle this question before we proceed. When 7 times a number is added to 14, the result is 28. What number results when 5 times this number is added to 7? Okay, now you can do this in a whole lot of ways. So they say 7 times a number. We don't know the number, so choose any number of your choice. So I can say let the number be W. Any number of your choice can work. So 7 multiplied by the number is added to 14 is equal to 8. So 7 multiplied by the number, since I say the number is W, is added to 14 and is resulted to 28. So from here I see that this is 7W plus 14 is equal to 28. So from here we can collect like terms, taking this 14 over, it becomes 7W is equal to 28 minus 14. So from this point, you have 7W is equal to 28 minus 14 is 8 minus 4 is 4, and 2 minus 1 is just 1. So from here, divide both sides by 7, right? So 7W divided by 7 is equal to 14 divided by 7. The 7's cancel out and W is finally equal to what? 2. 7 here is 1 and 7 here is 2. Now we're not yet done. We need to still fix this other aspect of the question. What is it asking for? It says, what number results when 5 times this number is added to 7? So when 5 times this number, what's the number we say is W, is added to 7. So let's check. 5 multiplied by what is W? 2. We've solved for W to be 2. So 5 multiplied by 2 and then add it to 7. So 5 times 2 is 10 plus 7. So we have 17, right? 17. Okay, hope this makes sense to you. Let me write it down here. 17. You can go through this question again and make sure you understand clearly before proceeding. So we got 17 from our solving. So let's check. And okay, so exactly what it did. Just subtracted 7 from 14 from both sides, and it made sense. So exactly what we just talked about right now. We got 17 as well. Okay, now take this. This is very important. When solving for word problem, translate the math word to your word. Like translate their word into your own words, and then translate your words into math symbols or a mathematical language. It's very, very necessary. I think this is one of the, let's say, rule that really helped me to improve on this aspect of the SAT. So it's very necessary. Translate them into your word. Let them make sense to you before you proceed. So let's go ahead. If you want to read through the notes, you can just pause the video and take a glance. But let's just go ahead and solve. Okay, we'll have a question here. Okay, the question says, so just a moment. Okay. Mm, okay. Okay, so for this question, Geraldine randomly selects marbles from a bag with four colors of marbles in it. So have blue, orange, pink, and bright red of the marbles. Of the marbles Geraldine selected, 1/2 were bright red and 1/5 were orange. Of the other marbles Geraldine selected, 1/3 were pink. If Geraldine selected 6 pink marbles, how many orange marbles did Geraldine select? Wow, a whole lot of things a whole lot is happening here, and it can be very, very confusing or overwhelming at sight. So I think we'll take it bit by bit, then break this down, and then we'll crack it. Okay, so we have a whole lot happening here. So we have blue. Let me just list this thing out. So let me say blue, B, orange, pink, and I want to use red. Just because if I write bright, I might repeat B. So blue, orange, pink, and bright red. Okay, so of the marble Jardine selected, 1/2 we are bright red. So 1/2 we are bright red, and 1/5 we are orange. So 1/5 we are orange. And then of the other marbles Geraldine selected, 1/3 we are pink. Geraldine selected 6 pink marbles. How many orange marbles? Okay. So I think we want to do this here. So let's stay here. So we had blue, right? So talking about blue and just a moment. So blue and pink, right? Blue, did he give the number of blue? So say 1/2 we are bright red, 1/5 we are orange. So blue and pink, and then orange and red. I know I want to separate, just pay attention. Blue, pink, let's pay attention to this. So we have orange, red. So just work with me closely, follow closely. So the question says, with the marble selected, 1/2 we are bright red and 1/5 we are orange. So let's do this. 1/2 bright red, 1/5 orange. 1/2 bright red, 1/5 orange. So if the question didn't specify that of blue, and gave I think 1/3 for pink. Let's check it out. So for pink, gave 1/3. Then it says 6 pink marbles were selected. So these were the only information it was. They are asking how many orange marbles did you? So asking for orange, and then it gave 6. So let's do this. So it's giving 6. So we have something is happening here. We have the fraction aspect of this. So we say we have, let me say fraction, FRA, fraction and value. So this one does not have fraction. Let me get a highlight and do this. So it doesn't have a fraction, neither does it have a value. But this has a fraction and as well has a value. So for here, we have a fraction, but we don't have a value. We have a fraction and we don't have a value. Okay, another information that is missing here is total. So total, we need to also have a fraction and as well a value. Very necessary. Need to have a fraction and a value. Now, the total of every fraction is 1. Every fraction must equal to one whole number. Now, we don't have the information to fill up this. So, we don't have the total number. So, let's go ahead and solve this. Now, from this aspect, we see that since, because I cannot work with this, or I don't want to work with this because there's a whole lot missing here. I have so many information missing here. I have so many information missing here. So, and I also have an information missing here. But I think because I have this it will be way easier to work with. So, let's say it simply means that if you add these whole marbles together, the orange, the red, the blue, the pink, they will give you 1 if you add their fractions together. But let's start from this orange. So orange and red will have 1 over 5 plus 1 over 2. So their LCM is 10, right? So the LCM is 10. Let me just do it here, 10. So just a moment. If the LCM is 10, we can solve for it. So 10 divided by 5 is 2 multiplied by 1 is 5 plus 10 divided by 2 is 5 multiplied by 1 is, oh sorry, I'm skipping something. I don't know if you can see that. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, right? 2 multiplied by 1 is 2, not 5. And then 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 multiplied by 1 is 5. So from here we can add these two now. So since they have a common denominator, so 2 plus 5 is 7 over 10. So we fix this. Now this is not yet up to what is it called, 1, because we need to have 1 over 1 for us to get what is it called, for us to get a total for this now. So we're having 7 over 10. So for which means this here now, this whole is giving us 7 over 10 of this total. Let's find what this other aspect will give to us. And how can we do that? By saying 1, because this group added to this group should give us 1, but we don't have it. So what we simply do is say 1 subtract 7 over 10, right? So 1 subtract 7 over 10, let's solve for the LCM here. LCM is 10, so you can say over 1 here because it doesn't change anything. So 10 divided by 1 is 10, 10 times 1 is 10, 10 minus 10 divided by 10 is 1, 1 times 7 is 7. So let's do that. What are we going to be? Have 10 minus 7 is 3 over 10. So now we've solved for this, and we're having here as what? 3 over 10. So you see that when you add 3 over 10 plus 7 over 10, it will give you 1. It makes sense. So we've actually come far, and I believe we can work with this thus far, though we have a whole lot of things missing out here. Now let's not forget what we are asked to find. So let me go back to the question and be sure they asked us to find what? Orange marble. So let's take note of that. So orange. So let's see what I'm solving for. Let's not miss that. Let's not. Okay. So now we've gotten this, but they give us complete information for pink. Let's try to use pink and see if pink can help us in any way. Pink can help us in any way. So let's check. It says I will need to know, okay, know how to model, I don't know, but it's very necessary. We need to know how to model a fraction equation. So fraction equation is fraction multiplied by whole and then is equal to value. So let's do that. For pink, because pink has complete information, pink is equal to 1 over 3, the fraction multiplied by whole. I don't know if you get now. So let's call it whole, and this whole I can call it W. I can call it W. Understand? Is equal to what? Is 6. You see, so you're giving us already. So here I can say 1 over 3 times W is equal to 6. So 1 over 3, 1 times W is what? W over 3 is equal to 6. So from this point, I can just multiply through by 3 or cross multiply. Any of them can give me. So if I multiply through by 3, you see I'll have 3 times 3 here. 3 will cancel out 3 here, and then 6 times 3. So I want to just do cross multiplying. So cross multiply equal to 3 or 6. So 6 times 3. W. Right, even if it says 3 times 6 is something, 6 times 3 is 18. So we've gotten W as 18. Now, mind you, this W we have here, be very careful about it, is not the total. It's just what is it called? What we have for this aspect, like what we have for this aspect of what we have been working with. Understand? I hope this makes sense to you. For this aspect, this is what we have. Okay. Okay, so back to what we are here for. This question is quite complex, I know, but let's take it bit by bit and breaking it down so that it can make sense to you. Now, once you figure that out, so for us to get the total, we can use this part of everything. So part is what? 3 over 10, yeah, multiply by total. And our total is what? Let's call it T. Total of everything is equal to 18. Now, why is it equal to 18? This 18 here now is the total of everything we can get from blue and pink, right? That makes sense that way. And then because total we can get from everything between blue and pink, yes, that is it. Then this is the fraction. So use a fraction to multiply the overall total, then it will give you a part. So this is more like breaking these things into several segments or components. But that still makes sense. So this is the total we're looking at for. But then right now we just have 18, which is from this aspect. So let's multiply through, and then we can have 3t all over 10 is equal to 18. So from this point, we can cross multiply or multiply through by 10. So if we want to multiply through by 10, so we have 10 multiplied by 3t over 10 is equal to 18 multiplied by 10. You know, it's same thing. So 10, this 10 cancels out this 10. So you're left with 3t is equal to 180. Now, look at this. Let's just go a little bit down. One of the reasons why I multiply through by 10 is that I just wanted to cancel out this. But same thing, even if you want to cross multiply, it doesn't change anything. Just 10 times 18 is still 180, and then 3t equal to 180. So from here, we can divide both sides by 3. So 3t divided by 3 is equal to 180 divided by 3. Cancel out the 3's, and t is equal to 60. Wow, this was a long howl. I don't know for some other persons, but you need to be careful, you need to think logically, you need to think critical. I just need to be very careful for you to be able to fix this. So the total we've been searching for is what? Is 60. So let's go back and plug this in. Now don't make the mistake of using this 18 as total. If you try it, you're going to miss this question. So total we've been looking at for here for all this while is 60. So now we found the good. Let's go right and smash the question. So we have the boldness to smash the question right now. So what are we looking at for? We're looking at for number of orange, right? So orange marbles. So from here, we can just simply say, I don't want to take a lot of space. Let's just do everything here. So we can just simply say for orange, O is for orange. Let's use O. Yeah, 1 over 5 multiplied by 60, right? And if you do that, because 60 is total, so I'm using the fraction multiply total to give me the number I'm looking at for. So this becomes 1 times 60 is 60 over 5, and that's 12. So we have 12 orange marbles, and that happens to be our final answer, the final answer we've been looking at for. So our final answer is 12. Now look at this. If you know this is confusing, I want you to go through this particular aspect of the lesson again. Pause the video if need be. Make sure you understand this. Think about it critically before you proceed. So this question is not difficult, but you just need to pay attention. It needs your undivided attention for you to be able to decipher what really went, like what really happened here. So this is it. Okay, so we had 12, right? Let's go back to the question and check. So that's option C. Option C, right? Okay, let's use this. So option C is what we got. Oh, it was quite a long one. Well, whatever the case may be, let's go through the lesson and see what they did. Okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, let's look at 18. So somehow we're in alignment. Okay. And okay, that's 60. Try C. Let's go for the next question. Now remember, I'm not going to go through every single aspect of this lesson. I'll just be instructing, so I'll make it as snappy as possible. Okay, Helen drives an average of 200 miles each week. Her car can travel an average of 200 miles per gallon of gasoline. Helen would like to reduce her weekly expenditure on gasoline by $10. Assuming gasoline costs $3 per gallon, which equation can Helen use to determine how many fuel average miles D she will drive each week? There's something fun about this question. They're not asking to solve for any specific value like the last one we did. We want you to be able to model this and think about it critically. Now let's not just jump into this or dive into this like persons who is looking at for one single value. Let's think about it from an overview. Let's just step out of it and think about it critically before we dive into this. So is it Helen, there's an average of 200 miles per week, each week, okay, miles per week. Her car can travel an average of 200 miles per gallon of gasoline. So her car can travel an average of 20, okay, so miles per gallon, so 20. Okay, Helen would like to reduce her weekly expenditure on gasoline by $10, so she wants to reduce it by $10. Okay, that's previous information. Now this is the average she spends in a week. So in a week, that's an average of 200. So weekly, I say average weekly is 200 miles. Okay, assuming gasoline costs $3 per gallon. So cost cost per gallon cost per gallon is $3, right? Which equation can Helen use to determine how many fuel average miles she should drive each week? Now this question is another complex question on word problems. It can be very confusing at first, but look at what I want you to do. Maybe you need more time. I'm telling you to actually read this question yourself, not just for me. You're not doing this for me. You want to understand it, you want to grab what I'm talking about. So I think you need to pause this video, take your time to think about it critically before we do this together. So what I would do is there's so many ways to figure out this question, but I think when I model the questions, it's easier for me to understand. I can figure it out. So let's know the weekly cost, because when we know how much she's spending weekly, so we now know how to cut it by $10 because that's what she wants to achieve. And then let's start for weekly cost. So we can say weekly cost. What I'm talking about weekly cost is um how much does she spend each week, and how can we know the amount she's spending each week? You need to know. They said let's look at this. Which equation can you use to determine how many fewer average miles D she would drive? So each week, so we need to know the miles she's driving each week. So the distance. So we can yes, that's miles. So we can say distance she covers each week multiplied by the cost. Let me figure it now. So the cost she's spending. Okay, sorry, it should be distance divided by miles per gallon. For the distance, like I don't know if you're making sense to you. So distance divided by miles per gallon and then multiply by the cost. So the what is it called? Cost per gallon. So cost per gallon. This can be confusing, but I think over time, when you or if you can pay attention to this, it's simple. So from here, if you want to find the weekly cost, I'll say weekly cost WKC, that's what I want to use for weekly cost, is distance. So distance is the miles per gallon. Miles per gallon was given here, and that's 20. 20. Okay. Multiply by um, cost per gallon. That is $3, right? $3 is per cost per gallon. So multiply by $3. Okay. From this point, I can say my weekly cost is equal to $3 multiplied by the distance covered all over 20 miles per gallon. I don't know if this makes sense to you. So this is it. So this is what she spends weekly, and she wants to cut it by $10, right? Okay. You can take down some of this information for note keeping, but you can pause the video and do that. But I want to just clear this so I can go ahead and solve. Okay. Actually, I used to be overwhelmed with some of these questions, maybe just like you. I just like what um, the author or the authors of this book did. You were able to break it down to my own understanding, and I'm just cool with it right now. Okay, so because we want to figure out this, how much is going to cost. So we're going to solve for this for two separate weeks and we subtract them. So week one. So let's say weekly cost one for week one is equal to $3. So let me just remove dollar symbol all over 20. Okay, just a moment. So this is for week one. So we're going to still do same for week two. So week two, weekly cost two is still going to be same thing, 3 days. So every week this is more like how much you spend. So for us to find this, to cut it this, so it needs to be weekly cost one minus weekly cost two is equal to the amount she will save. I don't know if you get this concept. I learned it from this material. Actually, I don't really, I wasn't really conversant with this kind of this thing. I solve it by plugging in and you know doing a whole lot of testing, and that takes a whole lot of time. That will take your time, take chunk of your time. But if you can know how to set it up, for me, I prefer setting it up and solving it using the algebra or math teacher, will I say, format. So from here we have the save. Know how much you want to save? That's $10. Okay, so from here we have weekly cost one is what? 3D, like 3 multiplied by distance over 20 minus um sorry, this should be same thing as well. Lately I don't know why my tablet is just having some issue, but that's not a challenge. Let's just continue. So from here we'll have 3D, right? So 3D minus 3D as well. Okay, oh sorry, minus 3D as well all over 20 is equal to $10. So from here, since we have same denominators, you don't need to, you can just take one, 20, then you can factor 3, then you're left with D1 minus D2. That's for the first week and second week. So this is 10. So from here, distance, you can just tell, okay, simply. So when you supply the distance, you just definitely still get a distance. So I can just simply say that 3D all over 20 is equal to 10, right? Don't know if this is making sense to you. Okay, and from what I can see here, this matches with which option? Okay, not D, it doesn't match with D. Let's check. 3D over 20. Okay, okay, that's B. Let's go through this and see what they got. But another thing is that we'll have more examples on the practice. So while practicing, I think we'll go through a lot of questions that will help us, gain more confidence and understand this concept better. So let's see what they really got. And so we got B, right? Okay, choice B. This was quite a rigorous one or difficult one, but you can go through the explanation, pause the video, and hopefully get better at it. So review and encouragement, please go through this. We don't have that time for me to start doing that with you, but let's just get right into these questions and solve them. So we have some question here. Okay, if 4q minus 15 is equal to is 19 more than 26, what is the value of 3q? Look at this. They're asking you to solve for what? For 3q. Pay attention to that. This is what they want you to solve for. is it, right? So they are asking you to solve for this. Focus on this. But for now, get the sentence, get to understand this sentence and put it in the maths format. So 4q minus 15 is, which is, is simply means equal to 19 more than 26, so 26. 19 more than 26 means 19 plus 26, so 19 more than 26. So when you have 26 more than it, you add 19, so what's the value of 3q? So from here I'll have 4q is minus 15 is equal to, add these two together, so 19 plus 26, you can get an ounce calculator and do that together. So 19 plus 26, 45. So we have 45, right? So 4q is, collect like terms now, so is equal to 45 plus 15. So 4q is equal to, so 5 plus 5 is 10, so 0 you carry 1, and then 4 plus 1 is 5 plus 1 is 6, so 60. That's it. 45 plus 15 is 60, yes. I was just thinking about it too much. So 4q minus 4 divided by 4 is equal to 60 over 4. The 4's will cancel out and q is finally equal to 15, right? 15 times 4 should be 60. So 4 here is 1, 4 here is 15. So that's 15. Now mind you, this is a trick. If you click this, you're going to miss the question. The question asks us to solve for what? Solve for 3q. That is our interest. So 3q simply means 3 multiplied by 15 because q happens to be 15. So 3 times 15 is what? 45. And that's our answer. So we are going for D. Okay, let's check the next question. Next question says, if 21 plus 7, right? 7x is 12 less than 68. So 21 plus 7x is 12 less than 68. So 68 minus 12. How many times does 4x divide into 60? Okay, how many times does 4x divide into 60? Okay, let's figure this out first. Let's not go into confusion, because if you solve this, like if you take this information right here and say 4x is equal to 60, so dividing both sides by 4, you get into trouble. That's not what they're asking for, and you miss the question. So we need to understand the concepts, be able to understand the word problem before we can solve it. I don't know if that's clear. Let's do this together. So from here, 21 plus 7x is equal to 68 minus 12 should be giving us 8 minus 2 is 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. So 56. So from here I can have, let's collect like terms. 7x is equal to 56 minus 21. So 7x is equal to 6 minus 1 is 5. And 5 minus 2 is 3. So we are left with 7x is equal to 35. So dividing both sides by 7. What should it be? 7, I think 5. But let's check. 7, 35 divided by 7. It should be 5, but let's check. Divided by 7 is equal to 5. Okay. So 5, x is equal to 5. Now, mind you, really ask for value of x, so you might make the mistake of choosing this. So what we need to do next is figure out what is 4x. So what is 4x? From here, we can see that 4x means 4 multiplied by 5, and that's 20. So now you know what is this, and it happens to be what? 20. How many times does this divide into 60? So 20 divided by, okay, 60 divided by 20, sorry. I don't know if this is making sense to you. It's very important that you understand the question, else you miss it. So 60 divided by 20 will give us 3, that is C. And one thing that will help you is when you are faced with such kind of question, think about it logically, critically before you just dive into it, so don't make careless mistake. Okay, so question number 3 1 pint of raspberries cost this. 1 pint of raspberries cost $3. At this rate, how many dollars will arrow pints of raspberries cost? Okay, so if one, you can use what's it called? Ratio relationship to solve this. So if one is costing $3 at this rate, how many, because this is a rate, so I'm solving with rate. If one costs $3 at this point, how many dollars will R cost? So R is equal to 3. Is sorry, this is, so I said if one is costing $3, how much will R cost? So let me call here X. Now this has two variables, but don't be confused about that. I can call it a number. So how many dollars will arrow raspberries cost? So we're looking out for how much will arrow raspberries cost. Just cross multiply. So you have X multiplied by 1 is equal to 3 multiplied by R. And so we are left with what? X times 1 is X, and X is equal to 3R. So, and that's B. Now, if you don't understand what I did here, you can use this format. So if one is costing for $3, 3. And how do you get this $3? It's just by simply saying 1 times 3. Okay, I can say 1 times 3 since it's for 1. Now, how much will R cost? It simply means R times 3. So R can be any number, it can be 5, it can be 6. You don't know what, so multiply by that by R. You know what? 3R as well. So that's just it. So any of the method can get you to the answer. So let's go for question number 4. I want to get rid of the things here so that I can have enough space to solve. Now remember, why we're going through this, I want you to take notes. You can write it down, try to solve them on your own. You can even pause the video, try to solve it on your own first before looking at my explanation or looking at the explanation you have in this material. This is brought to you by Precision Academic World. And the manual we are using is SAT Mastery. Okay, look at this. You have a factory manufactures complete guitar amplifiers from a speaker cabinet and a speaker cone. So, speaker cabinet and a speaker cone. The equation above shows total cost T in dollars of making the amplifiers from C, units of speaker cabinet. So C is units of speaker cabinets and S units of speaker cones. If the total cost of manufacturing was $2,000 and the factory produced 10 speakers cabinets, how many speaker cones did the factory produce? Wow, a whole lot of information is going right here. If you can as well pause this video and read the question for you to understand yourself. So we have an equation here that says T is equal to 100C plus 50C. Now they say T is the what? Total cost. And they said if the total cost of material was what? 2,000. So we already know T to be what? $2,000. So we have fixed that. Then 100 dollars, and then they said something very important. They said, and the factory produced 10 speaker cabinets. And what is speaker cabinets is what? C. So 10 for C plus, this is X. I don't know why I misplace these things sometimes, but that's not a challenge. So this is S plus 50 bracket S. So from this point we have 2,000 is equal to, this will be 1,000 plus 50 then S. So this is what we're solving for right now. I hope that makes sense to you. We are solving for the X, the value of the X. So let's do this. So we can collect like terms here. So we have 2,000 minus this one coming over 1,000 is equal to 50s. So this becomes 1,000 is equal to 50s. Divide both sides by 50. So 1,000 divided by 50 is equal to 50s divided by 50. So the 50 cancel out, 0 cancel out 0. So 100 divided by 5 is 20, right? 20. So we have 20. So it says how many speaker cones did the factory produce? It produced 20. And that's it. Let me just confirm. Sometimes I like to be sure. 100 divided by 5. Now look at this. If you went through this instruction, they say do not use a calculator or any of the following questions of on any of the following questions unless indicated. Like this one is a calculator question, but some of them actually calculator because I'm more like instructing. So I want us to be very certain about what we're doing. But when you build enough confidence that you're going through this, it's better you just follow the instructions strictly. Okay. So question number 5, let's fix that. It says membership at a swimming center costs a one-time sign-up fee of $500 plus $M for each month. If a swimmer paid $230 for the first 12 months, including the sign-up fee, what is the value of M? So this question follows Y equal to MS plus B format, and we've been talking about this. This algebra and linear equation has one of the greatest let's say percentage on the SAT. So you need to pay attention to this. Like these are the basics, the rudiments you don't need to miss. You need to be grounded in this. Okay. Okay, so we are here. Let's get this. So our reference is y equal to mx plus b, y equal to mx plus b. It says membership at a swimming center costs a one-time sign-up fee of $50. Now, this one-time sign-up fee is the initial amount you deposit or pay, and that's B. So here we say this 50 plus $M for each month. M is the slope. See now for each month. If a swimmer paid $230 for the first 12 months, including the sign-up fee, what is it? So this $230 is the whole amount, like the total, and total is what? Is Y. So that's total. So I can say $230 is equal to the M. So he paid for the first 12 months. So M, and they're using M here, so don't be confused. You can still use M in bracket the first 12 months, 12, and plus. They never talked about minus. We cannot use minus here. So plus 50. So from this very point, 230 is equal to M times 12 is 12M. I like to write the numbers before variables. So plus 50. At this point, to collect like terms, making M choose the formula. So 230 minus 50 is equal to 12M. So that should be, I think, 180. But let's do everything at once. So 230 minus 50 divided by 12. Let's do everything here. So 230 minus 50, 180 divided by 12, 15. Okay. Okay, so this is 180 is equal to 12M. So 180 divided by 12 is equal to 12M divided by 12. Cancelling out, and we'll add 15, right? 15 is equal to M. So this is so what's the value of M? M is equal to 15. That's it. So for question number 6, Carl's house sits exactly at my mile marker 6 on a road that runs directly north to south. He walked due south from his house to mile marker 5. So he's making a movement. So from his house, he's going to mile marker 5, and his house is situated where? His house is located at mile marker 6. Then he walked due north to mile marker 9, and that movement. Then he walked south again to mile marker 3, and that movement. From there, he walks directly home. So the last movement he made. Then that's it. How many miles did Carl walk? Okay, looks confusing, but I think we can fix this. So let's take it bit by bit. The first, he went from mile marker 6 to mile marker 5. So that's the first thing. We're going to use absolute value. No, the last lesson we talked about or we treated was absolute value. If you've not seen that video, that lesson, please go and see that lesson. That's the fourth lesson on this SAT series. So let's continue. We're going to use absolute value bars to solve this. So 6 minus 5 for the first movement he did. And what do we have? This is going to be 6 minus 5 is just 1. So according to the absolute value bar, we'll have 1, and 1 is positive 1. Now, why am I using the absolute value bar? Is simply because you can't have a negative in distance. Okay, the next one says, then he walked due north to mile marker 9. So from 5 is going to 9. So from 5 is going to 9. Is going to 9. So it's going to 9 from 5. So this is equal to 5 minus 9 is what? Is negative 4. We can't have a negative from the absolute value function, so we're just having 4. And then it says, then he walked south again to mile marker 3. So we're having the next one. From 9 is going to 3. 9 minus 3 is positive 6, and this will still give us 6. From there, he walks directly home. So he's walking directly home from where? From mile marker 3. Don't make that mistake. 3 minus where is his home? His house is situated at mile marker 6. So minus 6 is equal to 3 minus 6 is minus 3. So take the absolute value function, we'll also have 3. And that's it. So they ask how many miles did he walk. So the how many miles he walks in total. So 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 3 is 14. And that makes sense with option B. So that's it. Now there's another way we can fix this, but that's more stressful. Okay, you can actually fix this by just drawing the cardinal points. Let's say this is north, south, east, and west. So you can number them like you have on your Cartesian plane. If you number them, so from 6 you walk down, you take the units you're going to walk, take the units and just keep going around this cardinal points. You'll get it. But I think I'm okay using the absolute value function. It's more clear to me and it saves me from careless errors and all that. Let's check question number 7. We're almost done because we're going to do 10 questions and call it meant to this phase because there's another phase coming up. This is a long one. Now, don't be offended if this lesson is actually tedious. This is because this is one of the most important concepts on the SAT. This is after linear equations. These are the most tested concepts. So we have number 7. If 40 Antarctic ants were stacked directly on top of each other, the column would be approximately 4.2 over 5 inches tall. Which of the following is closest to the number of Antarctic ants it would take to make 10 inches column? To 10-inch column. Okay, so let's pick all the information we have here. Let's pick them first. So we have 40. Just a moment. So we have 40 here. Okay, and then you have this one. And then you have this one. This is more like what is it called? A rate or ratio question. So they're saying 40 is to 4.2 over 5 inch divided by the other one. So they don't know the value. So they say how many Antarctic ants. So let me just use A for the ants all over 10. So for here I can say 40 divided by 4. Let me convert this to an improper fraction. Okay, to yes, an improper. This is a mixed fraction. Let's convert to an improper fraction. So let's have this. 4 times 5 is 20. 20 plus 2 is 22 over 5. So I have 22 over 5 divided by, I don't be confused about this, A over 10. So the fraction by is same thing as division. So that's what I'm doing. So from here, let's fix this. So this becomes 40 times 5 over 22 divided by A over 10. So from here, 40 times 5 is 8. No, 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 no. I think 200. 40 times 5 should be 200. Let's check to be sure. 40 times 5. Okay, 200. Yeah. So 200. 200 over 22 divided by A over 10. A over 10, right? So is equal to, okay, sorry, I'm skipping something. This is meant to be equal to, not division. We're not dividing this again because this is a relationship between the both of them. So it's not meant to be division again. So from here, we can now cross multiply. I hope this makes sense. So don't be confused about that. Don't be confused about that. So from here, we can have that cross multiplying 200 times 10. This is quite small. Let me do this. Let's do this here after I clean it up. So we say 200, this is it, times 10, and cross multiplying is equal to A multiplied by 22. So this is 2000 is equal to 22A. So 2000 divided by 22, that's what we have to do. 2000 divided by 22. Let's calculate the question. So you can actually use calculator, and this is 90.9. 90.9090. Okay, let me just work with this value. So I can say that this is everything. A is going to give 90.909. Okay, now I think our answer should be 90, but let's look at this closely. It says, which of the following is closest to the number of Antarctic ants it will take to make a 10-inch colony? So I think they want us to approximate right here. They want us to, so because of that, you're going to say, when you approximate this, you're going to have D. D is 91. Yeah, so that's it. This question, I think choosing C, to me, I think is not really wrong. I think this question is a close one. The answer is too close. I don't know why the authors made it look so confusing, but think this question should have had another option aside keeping this too close, quite too close. But let's just go with 90 because this is too close. Like it's very close to 91. Very close to 91. It's far from 90 and it's not like 90.5. It's not even between. So it's very close to 91. I think that's why I would go for it. Then such, like I said, it was too close. Question number 8. What is question number 8 demanding from us? It's not asking us to solve anything, it's asking us to be able to interpret the information given. So the question below shows the number of minutes R that Christian spends jogging each week and the number of hours W. Now, please don't make the mistake of misplacing this variable. So R is minutes spent in jogging, and W is R spent in walking. In the equation, what does the number 300 represent? This is still repeating y equal to mx plus b. This is the starting, the initial, the first deposit, and this y is always the total. So right here, you can see that 300 is total. So it's total of whatever quantity we are dealing with. So the option A says the number of minutes spent jogging each week. So no, you cannot be jogging alone because we have jogging and walking. So it doesn't make sense. Okay, the total number of hours spent jogging and walking. Jog hours, please pay attention to every information here. This is saying hours, but here we have hour and also have um, minutes. So don't make that mistake of just jumping into an option. So this one says the number of minutes spent jogging makes sense because minutes are spent in jogging and walking each week. Walking each week. Let me just put asterisk. I think I like this one. Okay, the difference in minutes spent jogging are no, this is just quite far. Now C makes sense or is the most appropriate option, but it's not complete. Look at why I say C is not complete. But think in the test, you already know that this is C because you have minutes for jogging and you have R for walking. So I was expecting to see an R, but because I didn't see it, it doesn't change anything. It's the most accurate option and it makes sense. This other option misplaced a whole lot of information and they're just wrong. Let's go to question number 9. Okay, question number 9. Question number 9 is more like a chemistry kind of question. But whatever, we can always have chemistry, physics, whatever question, government, history on the SAT maths, provided they are word problems and they can make sense. So we can have archaeology, any concepts tested on the maths. The basic thing is just understand the math concept they want you to understand and you can always figure it out. So just a moment, let me get rid of these things and get back to the class. So I have a question, and for the question number 9, which we will be fixing in just a moment, we'll have an equation up there. So let me just highlight this equation so that you can. So this I have an equation. Okay, it says, what does the equation say? It says 0.15x plus 0.25y is equal to 2 into x plus y. Okay, let's read the question and get into this. It says Christian will mix X liters of 15% by volume peroxide solution with Y liters of a 25% by volume peroxide solution in order to create a 20% by volume peroxide solution. Please don't be overwhelmed with this. We have a whole lot of peroxide solution, all that's going on. But just pay attention and you definitely understand. So the question above represent this situation. If Christian uses 10 liters of the 25% by volume peroxide solution, how many liters of the 15% by volume peroxide solution must be used? Oh, actually, there's a place to start from and we can figure this out. So we'll have 15%. Now, this is for the 15%. Pay attention to that. This is 15%, this is 25%, and this is 20%. So it's all clear. They actually divided by 100. So that's why we are having decimals right here. Okay, so we mix x liters of the 15%. So x is for the 15% and y liters of 25 is y. Okay, the question above represents this situation. If Christian uses 10 liters of the 25%, what is 25%? Pay attention to that. That's that of y, right? By volume peroxide solution, how many liters of the 15% by volume peroxide solution must be used? So 15% of the number. So let's put this down. We have 0.15, or you can say 0.15 x plus 0.25. It's the same thing if you say point without adding 0. Y is equal to 0.2 bracket x plus y. So we're looking for 0.15, that's 15% of the peroxide solution. Okay, plus 0.25 bracket. So they've given us this as what? 10. If this is 10 liters, so 10. So have 10 here is equal to 0.2 bracket. So this is 0.2. X is unknown plus 10. Y is 10. So 0.15x plus 0.25 times 10. Let's do that. We can just simply say 0.25. You see, they're even adding 0 without me pressing 0. 0.25 multiplied by 10, 2.5. So I have 2.5. So this is giving us 2.5 is equal to multiplying this 0.2x. This is point, please. 0.2x and plus this should be 2, right? 0.2 times 10 should be 2. Let's check. 0.2 times 10, 2. Okay, so plus 2. Let's collect like terms, bringing this over here. So have 0.15 x minus 0.2 x. So this is points. Let me clear this so that I can to avoid confusion. So minus 0.2. Yes, 0. Okay, just a moment. The system is trying to just load. Okay. I don't just know why my system decided to hang like a hibernating bear in the woods. But let's just continue. So this is 0.2, right? So 0.2 is equal to 2 minus 2.5. So look at what I did. I collected like terms. So I moved this over here, then brought this one over here. So this 0.15 minus 0.2. 0. Okay, 1.15 minus zero point 0.2. So I'm having negative 0.05. So negative 0.05 x is equal to 2 minus 2.5. Negative, because 2 cannot subtract 2.5. Negative 0.5. So the negatives to cancel out. Or you can as well divide both sides by negative. So you can simply say that x, making x sort of formula becomes negative 0.5 all over negative 0.05. They are just same thing, doesn't change anything. So finally x will become what? So negative will cancel out. That's why I just had to cancel them out initially. So 0.5 divided by 0.05. What's that going to give us? So we have 0.5 divided by 0.05. 10. Oh, why I was still having 10? I'm surprised about that. Okay, let me be sure that I pressed the right thing. So 0.5 divided by 0.05. And we still had 10. Okay. Oh, we have an answer here. Oh, I was surprised. This was. Do you know why I doubted the answer? Is because you're actually missing 10 liters, and are we still going to have 10 liters? It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Provided we did the right thing and we had the right answer. It's okay. That's great. So A happens to be our answer. So for the first phase of this lesson, we'll just be stopping at number 10. We'll have more 10 questions to go, and that will come in the second phase of this lesson. And this is the last one. I just wanted to give that breathtaking breath that says, and victory is just by the way. So the 10th question says, Ian has $225 to spend on video games and controllers. Video games cost $50 each and controllers cost $30 each. If there is no tax on this purchase and he buys 3 video games, what is the maximum number of controllers he can buy? One thing about this SAT question is that sometimes after reading the question, you just like, where do we need to start from? But paying close attention to details can actually help you. This is a system of linear equations. What am I talking about? Simultaneous equation, right? Yeah, simultaneous equation, like systems of linear equation. Okay, so we have what you want to do is combine all the money. So let's get the money aside. So let's not mix money with values. You know, those kind of things people say don't, how do they say it? Give what belongs to Caesar to Caesar. Those kind of statements. Well, so that's what you're gonna apply here. Just kidding. Never use that on your SAT. If you try that, you're gonna have a serious problem. Never you use such on your SAT. Whatever the case may be, let's go ahead and solve this. Okay. Oh, why is this? Just a moment. I don't know why I'm having issues with my highlighter. So, okay. So these are the amounts. You see, so you're going to make sure that you combine all the amounts together and you keep all the values separate. So don't mix money with value. And it's very necessary in life. Don't mix money with value. Money is money, value is value, principles are principles. And back to the SAT. So Ian has 225 to spend on video games and controllers. Video games cost $50 each and controllers cost $30 each. If there is no tax on this purchase, so there's no tax. Nice, we don't have a tax applied. And he buys 3 video games. And what is the maximum number of controllers he can buy? So we have two things happening here. So we have two components we're dealing with. So we're talking about video games. So I'll use G for the games, video games, and what controllers, C for controllers. So he has spent 200 to spend video games, and so he's spending $225 total on what video games and controllers. Video games cost how much? $50. So we're going to have 50 for video games, and then controllers cost how much? 30. Let me write this again. So 225 is equal to 50 for games plus 30 for controllers. So if you got to this point, it means very close to the promised land. Okay, back to this. It says if there is no tax on this purchase and he buys 3 video games, what is the maximum number of controllers he can buy? He bought 3 video games. So that simply means we're going to substitute 3 for G. So have 2 to 5 is equal to 50, and then we'll have 3 video games plus 30. So you're asking for what number of controllers, and that makes sense. So 2 to 5 is equal to 50 times 3 is 150 plus 30. Okay. Collect like them so that I can make this sort of formula. I don't know if this is making sense to you, but this is quite simple. I think this is one of the simplest questions we've actually treated in the course of this lesson. So 225 minus 150 is equal to 30C. 225 minus 150. think I'm already getting tired, so let me just use the calculator. So 55 minus 150. What do we have? We have 75. So 75 is equal to 30 C. Divide both sides by 30 so that C can stand alone, right? Or making C separate formula. So 30 C divided by 30 is equal to 75 divided by 30. 30 cancel out and C is standing alone. What do we have? 75 divided by 30. What is it going to give us? 75 divided by 30. We have a decimal and we have, so we're having 2.5. 2.5. So, and in the option, mind you, in the option, we don't have anything like 2.5. We just have 1, we have 2, we have 3, and we have 4. And what should be the appropriate answer here? Now, let's go back to the question. It says, what is the maximum number of controllers he can buy? Now, he's not buying broken controllers, so he's buying a full controller, so like complete. And they're not asking us to approximate here like we did for the Antarctica ant and all those things. So right here, we don't need to approximate the maximum number, let's say obtainable number he can actually get here is just 2. And we are going for option B, 2. So for now, we're going to be stopping here and I'll do another video for the second segment of this word problem, Algebra 1 word problem. Make sure you check out for that. So what you simply do is, if you're new, click the notification button and subscribe so that whenever it drops, you get the information. Okay, let's go through to see what we've solved thus far and know how God has helped us so far. Okay, so let me just do a recap. Okay, let's say from question number 1, right? Let's just do a recap. So here I had on this part. So let's more like input our answer here. Okay, I'm using this part to actually do my calculations and some things. So we'll just solve 10 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So question number 1, what did we oh, I didn't mark it. Why? Why? I can't remember again. That was careless of me, man. But I think this question is too simple and we wouldn't fail it. Should I guess? And if I do, I might miss it this time around. Okay, I think it should be 45. It's too bad. We solved this and right now I'm guessing. That's too bad. Okay, so let's just go. Number 1, I said D. But whatever, you can just take the video backwards to see what we got then. I can't do that right now. It's not practical. So number 2, what did we solve? What did you get for number 2? Oh, why am I not writing down the answers? I'm not writing down the answers. I'm not writing down the answers. Or did I clean it off? Okay. Okay, so let me just leave number 1 and 2. Let's check number 3. So number 3 is B. Number 3 is B. 3B 420. 3B 420. 515. 6B. Let's put these ones down first. 3 is B. 420. 515 and 6 is B again. So let's check 7 to 10. Let's check for 7 to 10. 7 to 10. 7. Oh, I didn't put it down again. Okay, 7 is D. I can remember this one because Christian gave us tough time. So 7 is D. 8 is C. 8 is C. 9 is A. 10 is B. So 10 is B. Okay, 7 is D. 8 is C. D, C, D, C, A, B. So let's put that down. D, C, A, B. I don't know why I was careless with number 1 and 2, but let's just continue and check the correction. Like I said, if you want to get the answers for 1 and 2, just simply take the video backwards. You will see it. I actually cleaned it, and right now I'm already bugged. Like this question just got me and I'm somehow stressed. So I don't want to do that again. No, 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 no. That wouldn't just that wouldn't just not do me good. It will lengthen, it will increase the length of this lesson. So let's see. Um D and C. Number one is D and C, but we didn't pay attention to that. Let's just leave number one and two. So we'll have three is B 2015 B D C A B. Okay, let's just take 3 to 6 first. B 2015 B. So have B 2015 B. Okay, so let's take 7 to 10 DCAB. Okay, DCAB. So for these two, I believe hopefully we got it. So let's just complete our victory. Whatever the case may be, whatever, even if we fail it, got it, just believe me. Okay, we've come to the end of this lesson. Now I want you to help me do something. Just before you quickly leave, get this book and you can pause this video to go through their explanation. I think exactly they did the same thing. I remember we got 35 then. I remember we got 35. I don't know the option again, but I know we got 35. And for question number two, I still remember we got this here, so we got this. So that's it. So as you can see, go through the explanation and hopefully you get a better understanding of these algebra word problems. So you can pause the video to look at what the authors are talking about. So we did just 10 questions and some other time we'll do the rest. Oh, seeing is something different from how we solved. But hopefully we got the same answer, right? Yeah, we got the same answer. Because I remember 75 equals to 30. I remember that part. Okay, and same B. Okay, this video is brought to you by Precision Academic World. And don't forget, I'm your instructor at service, Mr. Johnson. So some other time we meet again for our SAT class. But for now, do have a nice time. Bye.